Thanks for joining us on Capitol View. I'm Fred Martino. The Illinois Guardianship Association hosts its 2024 Fall Conference on October 24th in Springfield. Free registration is available for the conference through the 18th online at illinoisguardianship.org. I'm very pleased to have with us Derick Cummins of the Illinois State Office, our Office of State Guardian, to talk about the conference and the issues being covered. Derick, let's start with the basics. I know you co-chair the Education Committee and help to develop the conference agenda. Tell us about the Illinois Guardianship Association and the conference that's coming up.
Yes, sir. Well, the Illinois Guardianship Association, it was developed in 1998. It tries to improve everything to do with guardianship through education, through networking, through advocacy. It does a lot of work with legislation and education of families and guardians of all sorts, be it public or private, or the state guardians, or even just families. It does a lot of education for attorneys and stuff. It does a lot of things. I'm a very small part of that, just co-chairing the education part of it. But we do have two conferences every year. Attendance is growing at those conferences since COVID. And we do a spring conference in Chicago. And the fall conference, which is what we're talking about today, is in Springfield, so that the folks from upper state and the lower part of the state can make it to a conference. This conference is October 24th. It's at the Illinois Education Association building there in Springfield. It's from 8 to 4. It's a great venue to have it, free parking, lots of restaurants close by, and a great conference room. We're very lucky to have this.
So Derick, give us an idea. Guardianship is in the news a lot, a very big issue, not just in Illinois, all around the country. Give us an idea who should attend this conference.
So it's really open to anyone that has an interest in this. As I mentioned, a lot of guardians come, a lot of the state guardians come that work for the Office of State Guardianship, a lot of public guardians that work for counties, and family guardians, private guardians, just anyone that's interested in the well-being of the disabled, the developmentally disabled, the mentally ill, excuse me, the aged disabled, anybody that wants to be looking out for those folks. And then attorneys come so that they learn the latest legislation, social workers, private providers that are servicing our folks, they attend so they can learn. And we try to pick topics that are interest to all those folks and that are relevant. We don't just want to take up time and do CEUs. We want to give something that they can take back to their day-to-day jobs.
Yeah, so let's review some of the issues that are being discussed. First up, understanding behaviors as a form of communication. Tell us about that presentation and how it relates to guardianship issues.
So we're very lucky to have Jennifer Reeder join us for that. She is going to come and she's going to teach us that behind every behavior there's a reason for it. And it's our job as either the provider or the guardian or those that are providing care to find out what that reason for the behaviors are. And typically then when you meet their needs, the behaviors will subside, and people with dementia, the disabled, they can work through their issues, and we can help them work their issues by helping people to meet unmet needs.
Another presentation is going to deal with obstacles to housing. Tell us more about that.
Well, for that one, Dr. Stephanie Jerstad will be joining us. She is a professor of criminology at the Millersville University, and she's going to work with our own Jennifer Lee from the Office of State Guardian. And they're going to address the difficulties in finding housing for those that have to register on the sex offender registry. That is a very difficult task for guardians to do, to find safe, effective housing for those folks. And they're going to give us some tips on that and some resources that we can use and how to access those.
So capacity to make decisions is critical in guardianship decisions. Another presentation is going to deal with that particular issue. Tell us about it.
Yes, so we're gonna address that from two different aspects: be the legal aspect, and our own Barry Lowry will be handling the legal side of that, what decisional capacity means legally, and then from the clinical side, we've got Dr. Stephen Rothke. He's a neuropsychologist from the Northwestern College, and he'll be looking at it from the clinical side, and they'll be sharing some statutes with us and case history. And it's very important to learn a person's decisional capacity, because just being disabled in and of itself does not take away their decisional capacity. We want to honor what they want as best they can through substituted judgment. And Dr. Rothke and Mr. Lowry are going to be helping us with that.
At lunch, I see that an attorney will discuss the powers and duties of guardians. Let's preview those.
Well, this is a favorite part of the conference, and certainly we can never leave it out. It's very, very relaxed. It's Sharon Rudy's going to be hosting it this year, and she is an attorney. And they get together over lunch. It's very discussional, conversational, with an open discussion, and they talk about guardians' roles. They talk about new legislation, best practices. They talk about practical tips, like we mentioned before, that just getting out there and doing it. Anything relevant to guardianship, and they get together and they're allowed to ask questions and open up discussions, and it's a favorite part of the conference every year, spring and fall.
Derick, I know another presentation at the conference will deal with a very important issue, placement options. Break that down for us.
So this is Alicia Robinson, and she is the Deputy Director of Community Services for the Illinois Department of Human Services. And she will be joined by an LAS attorney from the Anna office. His name is Alan James. And they're going to be looking at placement options for those with IDD, giving us the best options that we can pick in different situations. I'm very anxious to hear what she has to say. She seems to be very effective at her job, and I think she can really help us out, because again, placement is a huge part of guardianship.
Finally, Derick, restriction of rights is an issue that is going to be covered. Give us some background on that.
So restriction of rights, we want to take it from two angles. Jeremy Polk, who is with the Illinois Guardianship Association, he is a disability rights manager. He's going to be teaching us on how not only know when somebody's rights have been wrongfully restricted and what we should do about that. He's also going to look at when they are restricted for a right reason, for the best interest of the person, and how to best do that and keep things as least restrictive as possible for those under care.
All right, Derick, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for having us, and we hope that we can get some of you all up to the conferences.
Absolutely. My guest was Derick Cummins of the Illinois Office of State Guardian. The Illinois Guardianship Association hosts its fall 2024 conference October 24th in Springfield. Free registration for the conference is available through the 18th online at illinoisguardianship.org. For all of us at WSIU, I'm Fred Martino. Thanks for being here. Have a great week.